Greater than 500 years ago, as we are told by the Black Clover manga, the White Wedding, as I dare to call it, occurred where Licht and Tisha were about to get married. And what happened in this wedding was the cold-blood assassination of all the elves by the humans using magic tools created by Sekre and Romeo Silvermillion Clover. The resultant was the massive demon we see on every Black Clover episode, spawned thanks to Licht, who used the magic stones to summon the demon god so that the demon did not take possession of his body. But is this really true, or is this really fact? Were all the elves taken out 500 years ago? That is what we actually try to discern in this Black Clover theory. Now, in order to discern this, we actually have to state a couple of points. This video is going to be divided into 3 parts. First, our rationale, second, the points, and third, the conclusion. So we begin with the rationale as to why we believe that the elves were not all taken out 500 years ago. Now, it is clear in the Black Clover manga that there is a world of the dead. Before Licht wanted to depart, he actually said that he had made Tisha wait for way too long, which means that he and Tisha had already met in the world of the dead. There's also the fact that when Petru wanted to leave, he said he was going before the others, which means that he knew that he was going to see them in the world of the dead. There are many points that could also be used to justify the fact that there is actually a world of the dead in Black Clover, and I believe that in the manga we've just begun to see how big and vast the world of Black Clover is, because it appears to be made up of multiple realms. Now, how does this affect our overall rationale? There is a particular character that was introduced way early in the arc, and that is the elf that took control of Charlotte Rosalie's body. The elf's name was Charla. Immediately Charla was reincarnated and she fought Yami. She actually stated that she was in search of her junior brother. Now, how does this make sense? If actually Charla's brother was taken out 500 years ago, he would have obviously met Charla in the world of the dead, which means that it appears that Charla in the world of the dead had not yet met her junior brother, and that's one of the reasons why she was really in a haste to find her junior brother in the world of the living. And that actually prompted me to believe that in some ways it is possible that Charla's brother could have been the sole survivor of the Elven massacre 500 years ago. Why do I believe this? Now guys, we're actually going to enter into the theory proper and the facts, so I hope that you guys would follow on, and I hope that the description has been good enough. So in chapter 212 of Black Clover, it became apparent to me, I don't know whether everybody saw the shot, but it appears that some elven kids saw the souls of the elves return to the magic spell cast by William Vengeance. How then is it possible that elven kids would actually exist 500 years later? It must have meant that at least 1 or 2 elves must have escaped the White Wedding. This actually opens up the opportunity to believe that one of those elves might have been Charla's brother all along. So what if Charla's brother was not there when the Elven massacre took place? And what if another female elf was not there when the Elven massacre took place? This actually made them the sole survivors of the White Wedding. Now, when it comes to the age, many people would actually argue with me that it is not possible for elves to live greater than 500 years, or for elves to live that long. It is simple, and I think the answer is in itself a very simple answer. That is the fact that in many folklore, elves have been shown to live way longer than humans. So 500 years is just little compared to the ages of some elves in ancient folklore. So that in itself shows us that it is possible for elves to live. Now, I don't know whether you guys would believe that this could tie to the Black Clover manga, but I'm a very big fan of this theory. To add more to that, I think that Tabata has been inspired a lot by folklore, and many of those folklore are inspirations which he used in the Black Clover manga, as we've seen that there might be pantheons in the Black Clover manga in itself. So that actually shows you guys that Tabata is being inspired constantly by folklore. So that actually opens up the possibility for what I just said. So to be honest, I still think that it would be quite difficult to convince people that the elves had actually lived this long. Now there is a possibility and a way to convince you guys, and that is the fact that obviously elves and humans can reproduce together. So even if Chala's brother was the sole survivor, there is still the window of opportunity for him to get married to a human lady and have kids. Now I don't know whether the gestation period is the same, but it became apparent since Licht also had a child quickly after he got engaged to Tisha. So it does mean that the gestation period is the same, and that would mean therefore that it is possible for him to have kids. Now these elven kids look relatively young, which means they might not have been that old, but we do not know how long and how fast elves grow. So that in itself is a solution to the question at hand. So that's basically it, guys. Let me know your thoughts about this theory in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys real soon. As always, have an awesome weekend. Peace.